Good evening and welcome to the Commentary Hub's roundup of Day 12 in the Women's World Cup 2023. I'm your alternative host, Nicholas Jones, and here's what's happened today. And we'll start with Portugal against the United States in Group E at Eden Park. The reigning champions haven't been exactly firing on all cylinders throughout the tournament despite winning their opening match against Vietnam, so a good result against Portugal was vital if they were to advance through to the next round. Portugal also had a good chance to qualify, but only if they beat the Stars and Stripes. The USA would be frustrated by Portugal throughout the match as they couldn't break through their defence. Lynn Williams had a couple of decent chances at goal, but Portugal keeper Inês Pereira was equal to both of them. To make matters worse, the heroine of the 2019 final, Rose Lavelle, was booked and will miss the next round. Portugal would come excruciatingly close to causing a huge upset when Ana Capeita's shots hit the post in the 91st minute. This was the first match the USA failed to score in since 2015, and they go to the round of 16 on the back foot, where they will face the Group G winners on Sunday. Portugal can go out with their heads held high, having qualified for the main tournament the hard way, being that they faced Cameroon in their intercontinental playoff final match and won. And the final match of Group E was Vietnam against the Netherlands in the Dunedin Stadium. The Netherlands have been on a roll, even without the injured Vivianne Miedema. Against Vietnam, they showed why they meant business as they completely steamrolled them. Lika Martins and Katja Snoij scored early on, but the star player was undoubtedly Esme Bruits, who scored two magnificent curling efforts. Other goals came from Danielle van der Donk and new Manchester City signing Jill Roord, who scored twice. The result means that the Netherlands were declared the Group E winners and will face the Group G runners-up on Saturday. And there's confirmation. And our featured match today was China against England in Group D at the Hindmarsh Stadium in Adelaide. This was England's best performance at the Women's World Cup to date, as once they got going, there was no stopping them. Alessia Russo scored early on, Lauren Hemp got a second before 30 minutes, and Lauren James struck the ball hard into the box, all of these goals coming in before half-time. James could have added a fourth, but a VAR decision ruled them out. Going into the second half, China had to respond with a win, as that would be the only thing that mattered to them to advance through to the round of 16, and they had always gotten out of the group stage ever since the inaugural Women's World Cup in 1991. China would get the response they needed as a penalty was given for a Lucy Bronze handball after a VAR review. Wang Shuang scored the penalty. That they needed, and this breathed new hope back into China. However, that hope was to be short-lived as James added England's fourth after receiving a cross from Jess Carter and fired at him without asking. Substitute Chloe Kelly and regular starter Rachel Daly just finished the match completely off, and as a result, England are through to the round of 16, where they will face Nigeria on Monday. And the other match taking place at the same time in Group D was Haiti against Denmark at the Perth Rectangular Stadium. Haiti's Women's World Cup campaign has been miserable, and their final match against Denmark was the final nail in the coffin. Denmark thought they'd scored within the first 5 minutes through Simone Boye, but VAR chalked the goal off for offside. VAR would go against Haiti second time round, though, as Diana Pierre-Louise's arm was picked up on the monitor and Denmark were awarded a penalty. Captain Pernille Harder scored from the spot, and it was the 100th goal of this year's Women's World Cup. Harder went for 2 more goal-scoring opportunities, only to be flagged off, once for offside and another for a VAR decision, after one of her teammates collided with Haiti goalkeeper Curly Toyce. To finish the game off, Sanne Troelsgaard scored Denmark's second in the 100th minute, guaranteeing their round of 16 place, and Denmark's opponents will be Australia on Monday. So there we have it. Group D was drawn to a close, and England are on top with Denmark the runners-up. China and Haiti are eliminated. Before we go, let's take a look at who's doing what tomorrow. Group G will be decided with Sweden already confirmed as qualified for the round of 16. The group leaders will meet Argentina at the Wellington Regional Stadium, while South Africa face Italy at the Waikato Stadium in Hamilton. Both of these games will kick off at 8 o'clock UK time. The final Group F matches will be played tomorrow as France take on Panama and Jamaica are up against Brazil, and those games will kick off later on in the day. Join me tomorrow to see who the next teams will be through to the next round. Until then, good night.